Not me.
Is it me?
It might.
And we are live on another edition of the K&K Sports Show Wednesday. What is it? February 23rd, 2022, right, boys?
Yeah,
It's
yesterday
a
would have been fun.
First of all, I want to get
Palindrome week.
there we go. Nice short, off Monday holiday. But before we go on, I want to give Sis a big shout out and a thank you for taking over and running the Wits and Wages on Thursday last week. We had heat issues here taken care of. I know Kenny wasn't feeling well. So, Sis, thank you so much. You did an awesome job. The show went awesome. But thank you, Mr. Sis.
I appreciate that. I got over 5,000 likes on that show.
No, it was awesome, Sis. It was awesome.
I didn't like it.
It was awesome.
That
So
you didn't like it, too bad.
So everything's good. We're right in the thick of things. Football season's over, but football season's not over, right? Rumors, ranting and raving about, who's doing this, who's doing that. Draft is around the corner, combine next week, so I'm fired up with that. NBA, I was telling Jen, for me, no aggravation until Friday with the Knicks, so that's nice getting a nice stressless week. And college hoops, it's hot and heavy, big games tonight, so I'm pumped up. Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you? How are you feeling first off?
I'm doing a lot better. I don't sound, if I sound like I don't sound good, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I'm just a little congested. So, going to try and get through this hour and a half with everybody, but I'm feeling much better and echo your words, Sis. You did a great job. I couldn't agree more with Kurt. I watched the show from the sidelines and was enjoying every bit of the hour you did with Carson and Clams, but you did an excellent job hosting that show, and I want to thank you
Thank
again.
you very much.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rosen, how are you?
Good evening. Good evening, gentlemen. I also tuned in a little bit and saw Sis handle himself very, very well. So
Thank
congratulations,
you.
Sis. You did an excellent job.
And
Thank you.
and last but not least, Mr. Siciliano, how are you?
Thank you. That's all of Kurt's training to me.
Technology, Mr.
good.
Siciliano.
Everybody's doing well. We're almost getting through the winter. A couple more, I say about at least another 5, 6 weeks. We should start seeing some nice weather.
It's freezing down here in Florida.
Yeah, what, 82?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be 88 tomorrow. But
Yeah, that we feel real bad for you freezing. It was a beautiful day today. So what do we got on the agenda, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Tonight's agenda, we're just going to do a little anything goes type, little, what do you call it? Potpourri, potluck, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about anything and everything.
Okay.
And one of our guests this evening's in the waiting room. I'm going to bring him in. Our good friend Caleb Davis is joining us this evening for our round the panel talk. And you're going to start us off with some quick hitters, though, Kurt, I believe.
Yes, I am.
All righty. He's joining, so we'll just go ahead and start the, quick hitters if you want to start.
All right,
them up.
I got 10 quick hitters. I'll start nice and easy. Just to we'll get we get the blood flowing, right? Talking a little sports here and there. So let's do this. Let's go. Let me see which one I want to start with. I'll start a little NFL. All right, I'll go a little NFL. I'm going to go Kenny, Paul, Sis, and then if Caleb's in, we'll go Caleb's in. All right, so Kenny, Paul, Sis, and Caleb. Here we go. Number one. Will LeBron James return and play for the Cleveland Cavaliers before his career is over?
No, he's going to play with his son before his career's over. No.
Paul.
I know he said he'd like to. I'm going to say no.
And Sis.
Yes, he will play for the Cleveland Cavaliers again. Excuse me.
Okay. News broke today, Mr. Kirkpatrick, that New York is going to lift the indoor vaccine mandate, meaning Kyrie Irving, I believe, in a couple of weeks, will be able to play home games in Brooklyn.
There you go.
With saying that, Kenny, will the Knicks win the NBA champ? I'm sorry, Knicks. Will the Nets win the? I'm smoking something if I'm saying that. Will the Nets win the NBA championship this year? Yes or no?
I'm going to say no. I still think they're going to have headaches over there. I'm going to say no.
Mr. Rosen.
I'm going to say no also. Simmons isn't even playing. Who knows what kind of shape he's in at this point. So I'm going to say no.
Sis, Nets win it all this year?
Yep. I'm going to say yeah.
2 years in a row, Sis is going at that. All right, Kenny, now with the Knicks on my mind. Will the New York Knicks make either the playoffs or the play-in tournament? Yes or no?
Play-in tournament. I think they're going to. Well, no, I'm going to say no because now I'm hearing Kemba Walker maybe done for the season. I'm going to say no.
Paul.
They ain't going to do nothing. No.
I'm going to say yes. I think they're going to somehow make a nice run over the next few weeks. So I'm going to say yes.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Paul. Sis, are you with us or no?
No, definitely not. You guys are dreaming.
All right, let's get into a little college basketball. Kenny, will a Big East team make the Final Four this season?
No.
Paul.
I'm going to say yes.
Sis.
Definitely not.
Keith Brugman is saying Kemba Walker sitting the rest of the season. I did see that, Kenny. So he's done for.
Yeah.
They agreed he's done for the year with the Knicks.
Keith, thanks for joining. Keith's part of the Rocky Mountain group, Kurt. With
Okay.
The Sports not 4th and 99 group. Welcome, Keith. Thanks for listening in.
Yeah. So he is officially. He is done with the Knicks for this season. They've made an agreement on that.
That was his knee. Is that the reason?
Yeah. Sis, what about you? Did you answer? I'm sorry. Big East Final Four team from the Big East. Yes or no?
Final Four, no. They're not going to make.
Okay. Let's get back to a little NFL. Who will last longer now with their New York team? Brian Dable or Saleh from the Jets? Who will last longer as head coach in the New York team? Kenny.
A hard question, Kurt, because Dable hasn't coached a game yet. I'm going to have to say Saleh because Dable hasn't coached yet. You're going to have to ask me that question mid-season, and then I can answer that question a little better. But
Okay.
I'll say that's the way I'll answer it right now.
Paul.
I'm going to say Dable only because after the last 3 debacles, I think the owner, John and Mara and Tish has got to be patient. So I'm going to say Dable.
Sis.
Yeah, I'm going to go along with Kenny's theory. It's the jury is out on this guy yet. He hasn't coached it down. So I'm going to save mine until I, see what's going on.
Okay. Kenny, are you a fan of the Pat McAfee show?
To be honest with you, I haven't really watched much of it, so I can't say yes, can't say no.
All right. I am a huge fan of it. Love it. Watch it on lunch at school. I am a big fan. Paul.
I've heard about it. I've never seen it. I know your guy is on there all the time. But I couldn't say one way or the other.
Okay. Sis.
I don't watch it.
Okay. So I'm the only one on here that's really I tell you, the thing about it is it hits like all angles, like all kinds of sports, this and that. So it is a fun show.
He
All
got
right,
a
Mike,
little blown out of the water, I heard the other day, though.
What
'Cause
happened?
He got, from what I read in the paper, he got a little blown out of the water because he thought Aaron Rodgers was going to come on and tell him
Make a decision.
Yeah.
Broncos or he's staying in Green Bay or retiring. So I think that kind of blew him out a little bit.
Okay. Kenny, Eddie Murphy. Good evening, gents. Knicks need to bring in Kenny Atkinson. Thoughts, Mr. Kirkpatrick, on that comment?
I know you don't like him, but
I don't
think
like
he'd
him.
be okay. We had Alan Hahn praised him. So, who a better guy? And he was on our show praising him. So,
No,
what better
you're right.
guy?
You're right.
What better guy to trust than a guy who follows the Knicks for a living?
You're right.
So, I will listen to Alan Hahn. If he likes somebody, I'll give him a shot. So, yes, I would take Kenny Atkinson.
Okay, couple more. Kenny, will you watch the USFL League?
Yes.
Paul?
I might dabble once in a while. There's nothing else on, but I wouldn't say I would, miss something for it. So maybe.
Mr. Siciliano?
I'd rather watch paint dry on a wall.
Okay.
Told you you're a comedian.
Here we go. With Kenny being the king of excuses, guys. Kenny, I'm going to start this with Paul. Kenny will answer this last. With Kenny being the king of excuses, his perfect job would be A, a car salesman, B, a politician, C, a lawyer. Paul?
Boy. Probably a politician.
Yeah, I'm with you. He would be playing both sides of the fence. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. He'll do all that. Mr. Sis, what do you think? Kenny, car salesman, politician, lawyer.
He'd be taking envelopes under the table like they were going out.
Lawyers don't do that either.
Our good friend Caleb is saying a politician. # vote for Kenny K.
There you go.
Eddie Murphy saying a politician because he will change his mind every day. Absolutely. Absolutely, that would be Kenny. And Kenny, what about you? Those three, where could you see yourself the best at?
Well, lawyer would be too much schooling, so I don't want to go to be a lawyer. And I don't want, your lawyer, you get in a lot of trouble. You get in a lot of trouble being a politician, but I'll go politician over car salesman. Politicians, right. You can always weasel your way out of things.
I got two more, and I'm just coming up with one on the fly here. Okay. Would you rather? I'm going to start this with Paul. Would you rather A, fist fight Eddie Siciliano, or B, just have all your faith, all your assets, everything in the hands of Kenny Kirkpatrick?
Oh my God.
I mean, one Kenny could just screw you for everything and total.
Right.
But one punch, Sis could end your career in 2 minutes. So what would you do?
Have Kurt try to make you a 5-course meal.
Eddie's saying he would rather fight Sis. What would you rather do?
I was going to say, I think I might rather fight Sis. No offense, Kenny.
What about you, Sis?
Kenny had that option rather. He'd pack up so fast out of Maryland and move to Chicago.
All right, and I don't even want to. I couldn't even ask Kenny this one. All right, but my last one. This is our good friend Joey Clams. He doesn't, he calls himself our handicapper. So if he's our handicapper, he comes up with lines, and his line every time when he does his intro, he gives you like his, how you doing. So in honor of Joey Clams tonight, I want everybody to give you your best. How you doing, Kenny?
Try my best here with my voice. How you doing?
Mr. Siciliano, your best Joey Clams, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
That was good, Sis. I like that one. You know what? You got to do it again because Paul didn't hear you when Paul's getting the glass.
Go ahead, Sis.
Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Kenny, we got to make that a soundtrack somehow on the show. Paul.
All right. I had to put the glasses on from the Witness Protection Program. How you doing?
There you go. I like it. All right. Kenny, those are the quick hitters tonight.
All right. Caleb's in the waiting room. I'm going to bring him in. So we're going to start our around the panel discussion topics. And we'll see if he has a problem. I told him I'll sit with him outside, but it looks like he may be still having problems joining. So there he comes.
Mary Lenny says
There he
Sis.
is.
Oh, by the way, Mary Lenny says Sis wins that one. So, oh, real quick, you know what? Let me go around the board on this one, real quick from Eddie, Kenny. Agree or disagree? Worst dunk.
My glasses, I can't see that.
Worst. This was the worst dunk contest ever. Agree or disagree?
I didn't see it, so how can I can't disagree, but Nick won some. That's why I'm gonna say
probably makes it the worst one ever.
That's it. No. Paul, Sis, anybody worst one ever?
Yeah, I didn't see it either, but I know Toppin won.
When you can watch the whole dunk in the 8-minute highlight on YouTube, it's got to be the worst dunk contest ever. Just throwing that out there.
We got one more throwing out from Keith. Kenny, I like this one. If the members of the K&K were cast as a mobster movie, what would the name of the movie be?
Whoa.
Masked Brothers.
Meet us in Brooklyn.
Our good friend David Slade is saying, I want to see Sis and Kurt fight. Nah, we don't.
Three.
We're like wrestlers. We don't fight, right, Sis? We're always like a team.
Three men and a Siciliano.
3 men and a Siciliano. There you go.
By the way, Caleb just joined us, guys. How you doing, Caleb?
What's up, Caleb?
How we doing, fellas? It's been a long time.
Hey, Caleb.
It's been a long time. We've had some technical difficulties, but I made it. I
You're
survived.
back.
I like your Americana there.
Well, I
That's right.
appreciate you.
So tonight's show, guys, I thought we'd do like an open agenda type of show. We're gonna take turns and bring up something that's on our minds. We always have what's on Sis's mind, well, what's on the panel's minds, and we're gonna start with Sis though. He's gonna bring up the first topic. We're gonna do like 5 to 10 minute topics, and we'll go around the panel and do as many as we can, and we'll keep going around, see how many we get to.
Okay.
Siciliano, you're up.
I'm gonna do my second topic this evening at 8:30, and I just want to give a shout out to a friend of mine who has asked me to do this topic on Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Frank Ripley, who I had the pleasure of meeting when I moved out of Newark into Bloomfield. We've been friends since we're 14 years old. This guy was one of the best running backs in Essex County back in the day, played at Montclair State, and he had a few pro tryouts. My family and his family were very close, and he's just a fantastic person. I haven't seen him in a long time, but I'm going to make a trip to go see him because we're getting older, and I love that guy. He's a good person, man, but I wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
Awesome.
My first one tonight, and it's very disturbing. Me and Kurt, again, we're coaches. We've coached football, girls softball. I particularly coach freshman basketball, little varsity, but whatever. This Juwan Howard incident the other night, and I'm going to start with Kurt. Did it warrant just a 5-game suspension or the whole season? Kurt, what do you think?
You know what? I swear to God, once it happened, and then we were watching, and I was telling Jen, I said, watch. They're going to just suspend him for the rest of the year. He'll be back from the tournament. And listen, I mean, we had a coach on our high school show last night, and I totally agree with him. He should be done he should be done. And without a doubt, he should not be coaching in the Big Ten tournament. And if they get to an NCAA tournament, that was disgraceful what he did. I mean, listen, if I'm a kid on his team, listen, I do the same thing. I'll be back for the Big Ten tournament. I could throw a punch. What is it showing? It showed nothing. The Big Ten I don't know who suspended them, Big Ten or Michigan.
The school. Michigan
Right.
suspended him.
They did absolutely nothing. Oh, the rest of the season. He has 4 games left. Would they have suspended him 20 games if it was 20 games left? No.
Yes.
They didn't do it. He should be. Dave is saying now Michigan should have fired him. I agree. Michigan should have fired him.
Paul?
Yeah. As soon as I saw that, and I didn't see the actual play, I saw the highlights, quote unquote. My first reaction was, this guy cannot come back at all the rest of the year. I don't know if I would fire him, but as an educator, as someone who should set an example for these student athletes, as someone who should and represent the University of Michigan. The fact that this guy got to me, a slap on the wrist for 5 stupid games is outrageous to me. And I think what Michigan and the NCAA did is now set a precedent that any future kind of incident like this, they're going to look at and say, well, hey, if we did it with him, how can we do more in the future? And I think that's a bad precedent.
Real quick, Keith is saying whatever was handed down should have been handed down to both coaches. So that's Keith's point. And there's a little breaking news in the world, just to report, but Troy Aikman is on the verge of bolting Fox, Channel 5, to go on to ESPN Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Kenny, what's your take on this?
My take is very similar to Kurt and Paul's, but I know me and you were talking, Sis, about his playing days, like how he was a kind of a hot, you want to call him a hothead. When
he was always a thug. I agree.
And now you're seeing that in his
adulthood.
This is his first season that Michigan really hasn't been that good. Is this going to be his, how he's going to react if his teams aren't playing well? Is this going to be the normal for him, the norm?
Yep.
But no, I agree exactly what Paul and Kurt said. I think he should have been at least suspended for the year, if not fired. I mean, you go around, color doesn't mean anything in this. I'm not bringing color into it, white, black, I'm not bringing minorities into this. But if you go around and if another school did it, would he be fired at another school? If he did it in Duke, I'm pretty sure Duke would have fired him.
If he wasn't a Michigan alum, does he get fired?
That's a good question, and I think he does. I was just gonna say Duke, all these prestigious schools, these high educated schools. You got your Dukes, you got your, Villanova. He ain't doing that at Duke and Villanova. If he does that at Duke and Villanova, you're done. That's their reputation on the line.
So Caleb, that's a good point. If anything, to me, that's a double-edged sword, because the fact that he was from the University of Michigan, he should have been setting an even higher standard.
Yeah.
He went to school there.
But that's my take, Sis. I'll just say,
All right, Caleb. Yeah. Caleb, your take, big guy.
I was just looking, and according to some of the projections, Michigan is the last 4 in. So say their record is flipped and they have no chance to make the tournament. Do they suspend him for the Big Ten championship? Because every team in the Big Ten makes it. So if you're going to do that, at least suspend him through the Big Ten championship. And I don't agree that Greg Gard should have got the same punch. He wasn't the one that swung. Yeah. And it just kind of escalated from there.
What did he get? Did he get anything?
$10,000 fine.
He got a fine.
That Wisconsin is paying.
He's absolutely, which they should have, because I don't think he should have been fined.
No.
You know what he did? He did grab him. I mean,
was after he was at some point it's got to be self-defense as well.
You know what? It wasn't even. I wouldn't even call it grab. He was trying to clarify his position as to why he called the timeout when he did with his.
Did anybody? Okay, you got it. You touched my point. Go ahead.
With 15 seconds left.
Right. He had, if you read the article, he called the timeout with his backups in. They had 5 seconds to get the ball across.
Right. It was 4 seconds left.
Right.
So he wanted to restart the clock.
He didn't want his backups to felt like they were rushed. The game was over at that point.
Now, Keith's making another point. I don't want the precedent to be that you can get into a physical space of a coach impeding him from leaving the court and get a fine. But if that person retaliates with a punch, they are punished more.
Again, my whole thought is every team makes the Big Ten tournament. If they have no chance to make the NCAA tournament, they just suspend him from the Big Ten tournament as well.
Kurt, moving along, is this going to be yes or no? Is it going to hurt Michigan's recruiting?
I don't think it'll hurt Michigan's recruiting. I don't.
Well, no, I think he's having a down year to begin with, so he's got his frustrations there. They had a good year last year under Juwan Howard, so I do think it's just the frustrations of a down year. But that's not the way to approach the situation.
Paul,
probably not. Fortunately, it'll be ticked on some back page once they do all this. So I don't think it's going to affect it all.
Kenny,
You may see a trickle down effect here. If they don't perform next year, watch out. They could be in trouble.
and my last one on this, we'll go back to Kurt. Is this going to affect the teams from shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries after the game?
I think that's the stupidest thing. I mean, they've done it forever, for years. I mean, why? Because because
I agree.
The coach can't control himself. Like, no, you shake hands. That's what it is, and you shake hands.
Yeah, that's a sign.
So I have another thought. I apologize to interrupt. So if Michigan makes it to the tournament and has a first round exit, it's ugly. Does this stimulate them letting him go in the offseason?
Well, I just think then that's what's the word?
Prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah, like what? Why did you do it? Like, so if he gets to the Final Four, he stays. But if I think they should do it now. If he don't do it now, it's over with, and that's it.
Right.
My opinion.
Right. Okay, well, that's just a thought. We know how this works. We have to have a real reason. But neither here nor there.
Paul, what's your take on the handshaking?
Yeah, I mean, I heard or read something about they want to abolish it. It's preposterous. I mean, come on. These guys have to be leaders. These guys have to be the people that the coaches, an educator, a mentor. They've got to, whether they win or lose the game, you meet, you shake hands, and you go on.
Right.
So it's been like that for 1,000 years.
Kenny?
There's one incident out of thousands or tens of thousands of games. Continue to handshake. I think we're talking about one incident, and you're gonna stop handshakes. Again, the sportsmanship of the game is going to be tarnished.
Okay, that wraps up my first segment. Thank you.
Awesome, sis. Since you started with that, I'm going to do mine real quick, and then I'll go Paul, get the one after me, Caleb, and Kurt. We'll do that order.
Okay.
Mine is going to be quick. Maybe in like 5 minutes we can get mine done. It's pretty much a question. Bless you, sis.
Bless.
Me and sis were talking. College football declined expansion through at least, 2025 or 2026?
I believe it's 2026.
And Caleb's on. He's a Georgia fan. Sis is an Alabama fan. Kurt's an Auburn fan. West Virginia, Miami, and Paul's Notre Dame. So we got all different college football fans here. So it's a good question to ask everybody. My question is about the SEC. You got Oklahoma going there. You got Texas going there. Powerhouse conference. I'll start with Kurt, Paul, Sis, Caleb. My question is, not expanding the playoffs, is it going to hurt the SEC because they're so equal? The top teams in the SEC are so close to each other. You may have 2 or 3 team losses, not getting into the playoffs, and a team not just throwing a team out there, Paul, like a Notre Dame who has a 1 loss on an independent schedule getting in. Do you think this is going to hurt the SEC not expanding the playoffs, Kurt?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to hurt the SEC. I mean, the SEC has had a share of 2 teams in the college football playoff, so I don't think that's going to change. I mean, if you went and you said, okay, we're going to go to 8, I mean, could 3 and 4 SEC teams be in there? We argue this every week. I think there could be. They're the best conference in football. They're still the best teams in football. So going like that, I'm going to say no, because I just think, I mean, they're not going to get 3 out of 4. So I would say no. I want to read a couple comments from our good friend Henry Ziminoff. The MLB lockout is getting very heated for the meetings itself. I can sense the protest starting to enter the prep mode. We need a new commissioner, damn it. Does money matter in the college football playoffs somewhere, or am I just making it up?
It does. It does matter.
You got to sell those TV deals somehow.
Yep. Thanks for joining Henry, our anchor man over there in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Henry Anchorman Ziminoff over there. Always pleasure. Paul, what do you think? Is it going to hurt the SEC, or other teams going to be at an advantage with not expanding the playoffs? What's your thoughts on the whole thing?
I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt the SEC. I think teams will make the playoffs. We saw that this year with the whole thing with Cincinnati. Would it help them if they did expand? Absolutely, because then 3 or possibly 4 teams are going to get in. But, I mean, they've made a hard, fast decision. They're not looking at this again for another 4 years. So, obviously, the SEC has been a big part of this. They could really have tried to around, which clearly there's a big part of them that could push a lot of weight. But clearly they're going to stick with what is a continuing situation at this point. So I don't think it's going to hurt them, but once they do expand, it's certainly going to help them.
A couple comments. Dave saying, I think it hurts other conferences. And Keith saying, I'm hoping it brings parity to the SEC, though they look to be like a powerhouse.
That's both good
And
points.
they will
and
be.
both true. Sis, your thoughts? You're the Alabama fan.
Well, again, me and Kurt are old school, and you saw what happened this year. So leave it at the 4 best teams. And, unfortunately, if it's Alabama and Georgia and 2 other teams every year, guess what? They're the 4 best teams. That's my take on it. Not just because I'm an Alabama fan. If it was Ohio State, excuse me, or USC or Notre Dame or whoever, that this is what people don't like. Just because they might not be Alabama fans, Georgia fans, they want their teams in. Well, open it up to 28 teams, and you'll have everybody and your grandmother, and you'll be playing for 5 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're still going to come up with the same 2 teams.
Guys, Carson's saying have a great show, guys.
What's up,
Yeah.
Carson?
Thank
We'll
you.
see you tomorrow,
Carson.
Carson. Check out Carson on Ticket Time on Twitch, and he'll be doing a stream at 8:30 if you want to into some casino stuff. He's your guy.
That's pretty much my take. Put the 4 best teams in, tee it up, and let's play football.
Fair enough. And Caleb, you're a Georgia fan, so you're another SEC guy. What's your take on the question?
If you want to say it's going to hurt the SEC with Oklahoma and Texas, I was more worried about Oklahoma joining the SEC with Lincoln Riley as their head coach. To me, it depends on where you think Oklahoma and Texas fall in the pecking order in the SEC. Because we're going to go Georgia, Alabama. I would still go A&M at 3, even over Oklahoma. But now you have a inexperienced head coach in Brent Venables. You have going to be a new quarterback, Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams are both out at Oklahoma. And Texas is sadly just Texas. Maybe Steve Sarkisian is building something, but there is nothing shown yet. So if you think it hurts the SEC, to me, it just depends on where you see Oklahoma and Texas in the pecking order. And to me, I would even have Oklahoma, who's the better of the 2 teams, 5th, maybe even 6th, which behind Ole Miss, Arkansas, and maybe even Tennessee.
I'm looking at it as our arguments that we had in the past. Your SEC teams, I'm just throwing teams out there. Georgia, 2 losses, has 2 losses. Alabama has 2 losses. Notre Dame has 1 loss. Clemson has 1 loss. USC has 1 loss. Those 1-loss teams, most of them are going to get in over those 2-loss teams because they're in a Power 5 conference. I'm not talking about the Cincinnati's anymore. That's old news. But
I feel like that's who it hurt.
Not necessarily.
I feel
Not
like
necessarily, Kenny. Depending on when they lost, depending on who they lost to, a loss opening week of the season, as is a lot than losing the 12th week of the season and against, in a conference game.
I just think they could have. I know I like the old school mentality, the 4 teams, but I would have maybe, if you're going to have a powerhouse conference, build a powerhouse conference, then maybe you should build it up to 6-team playoff and try and get at least 2 or 3 of those SEC teams in each year.
Hey, guys, when does Texas and Oklahoma go in?
2023.
2023.
Or no. It's either 2023 or 2024 at the latest.
I thought it was 2 more years. I could be wrong, though.
I'll look it up and see if I can find anything, but go ahead.
I'm going to make an unbelievable, ridiculous prediction. but I think Texas is going all out to try and get Arch Manning. And the fact that they're going into the SEC, I think having him as, if they can get him as a commitment, would be an incredible, incredible coup. And to have them in the SEC at that point would be, I think, an incredible thing. And I think somehow Texas is going to go all out to try and have him commit to them. Just throwing it out there.
Now, Davis threw in this, Kenny. He's saying, is it true that Oklahoma and Texas are not joining the SEC until 2025 now because Oklahoma does not have the money for the buyout?
I was just reading into that, and I saw the same thing, as it could be 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what's going to be interesting on that part of it. You're still going to have Texas, Oklahoma in there for 3 more years. UCF is coming in. BYU's coming in. Cincinnati's coming in. I feel like they added somebody else. So you now have
Houston,
thank you. So you now are going to go from the Big 12 that's 10 teams to the Big 12 for 1 season or 2 seasons is going to be 16 teams.
Yeah.
Well, technically the Big 12, if Oklahoma and Texas don't leave before 2025, is going to be the first 16-team league.
Gotcha.
So
that was my quick topic on college football, expanding playoffs. Let's move on to Paul for his quick 5-10 minute topic. Number one. First topic for us.
Sort of a totally innocuous kind of discussion, almost like a fun type of discussion. I'm sure you guys know that the NBA has been celebrating their 75th anniversary this year, and they came out with their, I guess, what is it called? The Diamond 76 greatest players in the history. And they had lists of what they voted as the 76 greatest players. ESPN did a top 10. They ranked the top 10 players on that list. And I want to go through their list and then go get your sense. We'll go Kenny, Kurt, Caleb, and then Sis in that order regarding ESPN's top 10 list. So they had Michael Jordan, number 1, LeBron, number 2, Kareem, number 3, Magic, 4, Wilt, 5, Bill Russell, 6, Larry Bird, 7, Tim Duncan, 8, Oscar, 9, and Kobe, 10. Kenny, would you agree or disagree to that? Or would you make some changes?
The list looks kind of fair. I think I would move Kobe up a little bit. He kind of changed, in our generation, he changed things around. I think LeBron, you can argue with the top 2 through 5, they could be switched around. I think they nailed it pretty much. Who'd you say number 9? Oscar Robertson?
Robertson was number 9.
Yeah, I'm okay with this list.
Okay.
If I would change anything, it would be Kobe, move him up a little bit.
Yeah, and David Slade is saying Kobe 10, what a joke. Kobe is top 5.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Kurt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Dave and Sis. I mean, listen, I know I'm probably on the outs on this one, but I think Kobe, I'm putting Kobe ahead of LeBron. I'm sorry, I am. I think Kobe was the closest thing to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan's obviously the best, so I'm putting Kobe 2. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think, I know it's a lot of people, but how is Shaq not in there too? I mean, Shaq was the most dominant player, I think, that I've ever watched. Like, I mean, no one guarded him when we were watching him. So that's what I'm going to do. So I would put Shaq definitely top 10 and Kobe number 2, which Dave's saying I agree. I know people might think I'm nuts, but I just think he was the closest thing to Jordan.
If you put Shaq in the top 10, who would you take out?
I know, that's the problem. And you know what? Our good friend Manny DeLima is saying Jordan and Kobe top 2. Yeah, I'm going him 1, 2. David Slade saying Bird better than LeBron.
I think I'm taking Duncan out of the top 10 and putting
Whoa,
Shaq in
whoa.
the
That's
Whoa.
yeah.
Whoa.
That's hard though too, Kenny.
Whoa.
It's hard. It's hard.
Because
But
to get to this era of the NBA we are now, Tim Duncan was almost that transitional big man with him and Dirk that stepped away from the basket. That little elbow corner of he was the transition from traditional big man to stretch big man. I think he is one of the most underappreciated players.
Yeah, underrated.
And I agree. Kobe's got to shoot up there somewhere. The world stopped when he passed away.
Keith is saying Shaq's better than Timmy D.
Thanks, Keith.
He
Meet me outside.
is.
Sis.
My top 10, Mr. Jordan, Kareem, Kobe, Magic, LeBron, Oscar Robinson, Shaq, Bird, Clyde Frazier.
And wait, sis, I got a couple comments coming in. Tracy Ann, our good friend, and this is Tracy Ann from Pompton Lake. She's always on our high school show. She says Jordan is the best. I agree. I agree with that one. Manny, and this is where I am totally in agreement with Manny. LeBron, a big crybaby, and never liked him. LeBron ain't nobody unless he has help.
Right.
Listen, LeBron, again, I don't want to hear he took Cleveland and those guys to a Super Bowl. He had to run to Miami, and he had to make sure Dwayne Wade got him that first title, or Kyrie got him the title and thing. I'm sorry, I'm totally with Manny on that one. I'm just not the biggest LeBron guy.
So,
Tracy Ann, thank you for watching.
So
here's a comparison.
Hold up. Can I give my last one?
Sure.
Oh yeah, I thought you were done.
Yeah, you had 9. Go ahead, sis.
Sorry, sis.
Thank you. Bob Cousy.
Okay.
I just want to say
that's fair.
Quick.
Let me give you my top 10.
Bucks.
What?
Huh?
What's that?
Who's giving me? I thought you were giving a top 10. Who's giving me? Well, hold on. Look, Paul, go ahead. I'm confusing people because we're talking about LeBron James. I was answering a comment that LeBron has nobody. I said if you put LeBron on the Bucks, they're not winning that championship last year. So they're right.
If Kevin Durant's foot's not a size 15, the Bucks aren't winning that championship either.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
all right. My top 10: Michael, Kareem second, Bill Russell third, Wilt, Kobe, Magic, Bird, LeBron, Oscar, and Tim Duncan. That would be my top 10. But I like Shaq, and sis, I like your inclusion of Clyde because that leads me actually to my next question. So in the way ESPN ranked all, I'm gonna present this. Walt Frazier, since we're talking Knicks and most of us are Knicks fans, Walt Frazier was 41, ranked 41. Patrick was ranked 40. Dominic Wilkins, who I saw throughout his whole career, was ranked 36. Do you agree or disagree that Dominic Wilkins should have been ranked higher than either Patrick or Walt Frazier?
I didn't get to see any of these, but I'm just going to shout out Patrick Ewing because this is probably his last year coaching at Georgetown. But continue. I apologize to bring
That's
up
all right.
So I
Kenny,
apologize.
That's all right.
I've seen them all play as well. I didn't see Clyde Frazier, but I think they both should be ranked higher than Dominique. Dominique really didn't do much for that Hawks team. He's a good player, but nothing spectacular where he's ranked in the 30s.
Kenny, I got to interrupt you. We got a couple comments coming in from Mary Lenny, and she has some really good points. She's saying,
Go ahead.
Best rebounder and most colorful entertainer character, Dennis Rodman. Then she said, most underrated on a championship team, Scottie Pippen. Best dressed coach, and it's my guy, even though he screwed us.
Patrick Riley.
Best hair, Pat Riley.
And Manny's agreeing with Mary, saying, Mary, I totally agree with you on Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. Now that was a guy with slick hair, sis.
Oh yeah.
Pat Riley.
All right. So Kenny, Kurt, what are your feelings about that?
I don't know. I'm not the best person to ask this because I'm kind of biased, but I mean,
No, not you.
listen. Walt Frazier. What was it? 42 points in the game 7 for the first NBA championship, and Ewing got
36
was it 36?
and 19 assists.
36 and 19. Thank you for that, Paul. And Ewing, got to a final, had to go through Jordan. They were always probably the second best team in the NBA. Just couldn't get by Jordan. So I'm putting both of them ahead of Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah. Sis.
Sir. Sorry.
Will Frazier and Patrick Ewing, who's ranked behind Dominique Wilkins on ESPN's list.
Yeah, no, I think Patrick should be ahead of him. Yeah. Yep.
Caleb?
I feel like the history of the NBA can't be told without Patrick Ewing. So for me, Patrick Ewing, I think is going to be, just because when you think about historically, again, think about the Knicks teams, Patrick Ewing's always the first guy you think about. So,
yeah, no, agree. The other twist to that is Chris Paul was ranked 29th. Now, maybe I'm biased as a longtime Knicks fan, but there is no way, I'm sorry, Chris Paul can be ranked 29th and Walt Frazier 41. I'm sorry. I know, he's been around a long time. He's one of the great players, but that's my feeling. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Keith is also saying most underrated in a championship. He's going with Pau Gasol.
I agree.
That's another part of my questions that I don't know if I'm taking too much time, but that's another aspect of this list. And he's on that list.
We can get back to it if you want, Paul, because I know Caleb has a topic and then Sis is up at 8:30 for his friends. So
that's fine.
It's getting close to that 8:30 time.
That's fine.
Caleb, you want to throw a topic out for us?
Well, mine is very quick, and I shared this with Kurt. I believe I sent this to you, about a week ago, Kurt?
Yeah.
In 2019, Knicks won the number 1 pick, Zion. I have a very interesting stat. If Zion is out for the rest of the year, he's played 3 more games than the last bust big man, Greg Oden. So do we think that Zion is headed down that road to be a bust if he can't stay healthy?
What order you want to go in, Caleb?
We'll start with you, Kenny. Go ahead.
I think if he stays with the Pelicans, he's a bust. I think he's going to be a Pelicans bust, and then he's going to get his, it's going to be one of those turnarounds where he gets a little healthy and he could be a superstar for years to come on the right team.
Do you think he doesn't want to be in New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I think he may come to, he may be coming to this team right here and play with his buddy RJ Barrett.
Paul?
Here's my feeling about him. I think he's a guy that's been handed, the pot of gold, and I just question his desire, his motivation, his feeling of really wanting to do whatever he needs to do to become a true NBA star. I mean, he has the world at his fingertips, and they said not only obviously he got hurt, but he also let himself get completely out of shape. He had done what he needs to do to become the player that everyone thought he would be. So I just question whether or not he's really motivated and has that desire, that determination to be that real good player, so wherever he is, quite honestly.
Right. Sis, do you have any thoughts on the Zion thing?
Yeah, I want to play Paul in a game of horse.
Okay. Well, we'll stream that live.
I'm going to kick your butt.
We'll stream that live. We'll get some donations going.
Oh, yeah,
we'll make this
a
whole
great
thing. Kurt, go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with this, and I totally agree with Kenny. And I really think when it came to that draft and it came down when the Knicks had the best odds and stuff, I think his eyes were set that I want New York City. And it doesn't help when your best friend, RJ Barrett, goes there, goes through a playoff run like last year. I mean, Zion's at the playoff games in the front row. The place is going crazy. And it's not good to say because you shouldn't do this as an athlete. I'm going to say this as a Knicks fan because I want it. But if he comes to New York, he doesn't want to be in New Orleans, and it's not a good thing to say because you got drafted there. That's where you should play, but he doesn't want to be there. Especially he sees now his two guys in New York. I think I think he's gonna he's gonna push himself out, and it's not right by saying hey, Harden did it right. Overweight. I can't play. I'm hurt. I'm this. It's just a little like I don't know.
The difference, Kirk. Harden has a pedigree.
True.
Right. Exactly.
The background and the legitimacy. What does Zion Williamson have at this point?
No, true.
So I'm looking at the 2019 draft class pulled up right here. Of every first round pick, he has played the fourth fewest games. You have, let's see, he's played 85 games. Behind him is Lucas Samanik, who is in San Antonio, Dylan Windler, who I don't know if he still is on Cleveland's roster. And then Brooklyn drafted a guy out of Florida State who's played 51 games. So I'm looking through this whole draft, and I see 12 or 13 players that, as of right now, I'd rather have on their team. Are the Pelicans saying, "Hey, now I wish we got Ja"? But it was just when I saw that, it was so eye popping, just because of how much of a bust Greg Oden is considered. But are you going to compare Greg Oden and Kevin Durant, Zion and Ja, the same way people compared Greg Oden to Kevin Durant?
Good topic, Phil. I liked it.
Manny's saying Randall wants out of New York. I hope Randall wants out of New York. Let's get him out of New York.
Look, y'all can't even trade him for a freaking basketball right now, okay?
Sorry. I was going to say we got about – I think this might be Beelan coming in.
All right, I'm going to go in a different way, Kenny.
Yeah, give us something for like 8 to 10 minutes, and then Sister's topics.
All right, I got a different. It's not really a topic.
From the car, Mr. Beelan's joined us.
What's up, Beelan?
What's up?
Hey, Beelan.
All right, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go. If you could win $1 million, okay, $1 million, but you have to pick the champion of either MLB, NFL next year, college football next year, college basketball this year, NHL, NBA. You only could pick one, and if you get it, you're going to get $1 million. I would go with Alabama in college football because, again, I think I'm not worried about a long season. They're going to be good. You kind of know they're going to have the 1 to 2 losses. I mean, I'm banking they're going to get to that SEC championship game, and then I'm banking they will get into the college football playoff. So I would put my money on, and I would ride with Alabama in college basketball and college football. Kenny, what would you do? Who would you feel more confident in your one wager would be on who to win it all in what sport? Before I get you, our good friend Dan Worley saying good evening, fellas.
What's up, Dan?
Kenny.
Am I doing this? Money's going down today, not tomorrow, not next week.
Going down
today.
Right now. You got to make this bet. You could bet next year's college NFL team, but you're going to get one. You're going to get only one.
Gosh.
College is too easy, Kurt.
Why is it too easy?
I'm trying to get an argument.
Because there's only
Here comes Beelan.
every year.
Low-hanging fruit.
Comes the abs.
Low-hanging fruit.
But you could, but Beelan, I'll play devil's advocate. Just say Alabama does get tripped up. They don't get to an SEC title game. They could be totally out. A lot of these playoff teams like the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be in the playoffs. The Avalanche are going to be in the playoffs.
The way you think, and I'll go with it every year, is the Alabama could lose 4 games and they're still in the playoffs.
Well, I'm gonna get to you, Beelan. By the way, Manny's saying Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champions. Yeah. Laugh my blank off. He's just joking. Kenny, where are you going?
I think I got to go to college football route, but if I had to pick something else, throwing my money on the best quarterback in football still, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Even though if it's a free $1 million, it's not coming out of my pocket. I would go that route.
So you're going Kansas City.
I would go Kansas City. I'm going college football. I'm going probably Alabama, like you said, or Georgia. Whoever in that SEC is the favorite, I'm going with that one. But if I had to pick something else, I would go NFL, Kansas City.
All right, so you know what I'll do? I'll take my second one then, Kenny. If you don't want me to the college football, I'm going to take the Avalanche in the hockey. That would be my second one. Manny's also saying college football, Alabama. Sis, you going to go? You would put your money with your boys in Alabama for next year?
My money and Beelan's money on Alabama.
Too easy.
Paul, where are you going?
If a certain quarterback in Florida was still around, I would go with that team in the middle of Florida. But he's no longer around. As you know, we're guaranteed they're making the playoffs. But that being said, I think I would probably go with Kansas City and Pat Mahomes. I think they would come back after this year and really, really learn from what happened in the playoffs, and they would be psyched to try and get back into the Super Bowl. So yeah, I would go with Kansas City.
All right, Caleb.
Detroit Lions. No, I'm gonna go the NBA. I'm gonna go Steph Curry and the Warriors. You'll have Klay Thompson off a year and a half off that ACL injury. The two greatest shooters probably in NBA history, at least the greatest shooting backcourt. You know, their young guys are going to have another year of experience. So if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the Warriors next year to win the title.
Okay.
And Mr. Beelan's up here.
And Mr. Beelan. Dave's saying Colorado Rockies with smiley faces like last
Yes,
time.
and Detroit Lions. Don't forget about the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be a Homer fan. I'm going with my New York Jets next year. You know?
The goddamn Jets.
And Sis is going to love this one.
Jets, just in season.
Get the pen ready, Kurt.
No, and it's definitely going to happen, Jimmy Garoppolo to the Broncos and all the way. That's it.
Never.
There's talk about that.
Yeah, baby.
Who would you do, Kurt? Who would you say you would do? Alabama?
Alabama.
If you couldn't do Bama.
He's doing the low-hanging.
You said Avalanche.
The Avalanche.
He's doing the low-hanging fruit.
I think the Avalanche is, I don't know, far and away the best team in like their sport. I think they're due. I think, I just think it's their time. They're going to do whatever they got to do. I don't know if they have to make another move, but I think it's the Avalanche time.
Also, if we're taking low-hanging fruit, I know my Braves just won the World Series, but I would pick the Dodgers because they just buy anybody they want.
Oh, wait, that's right. Caleb's a Braves fan. Beelan's a Braves fan. We got two Braves fans.
You know.
Yeah, you guys might be crying what I heard this today.
No, don't tell me.
I heard it. I heard it too.
I will get up and I will walk away.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're done. No,
and
no.
And I said this to Sis. Sis, I said that to you about a week ago. You might remember about what might be happening with.
I did worry a little bit that they didn't have him signed by the lockout. Also, as sad as it seems, there will be no baseball on March 31st.
You know what? You know why I'm not still worried about it? Because no one can talk to nobody. That's why. So I ain't worried about it.
Well, you don't think they could? Behind the scenes, they could talk.
Exactly.
People are still signing minor league deals. So yes, you can still talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's enough of the lockout talk. That's enough of the Braves talk tonight.
Manny's saying
we got a good topic coming up, Beelan. We got a good topic coming up, and you came on at the right time.
Hey, Beelan, who's your driver?
Me.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're in the back there.
That's what I thought.
He looked like he rolled out of a bar.
He's on He's live streaming from the back of an Uber.
Yeah.
It's time for Mr.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what?
Topic.
You know what? Keith might have just got one. The UConn women's basketball.
Holy wait. Well, you know what? No. They're having a down year.
But the player of the year's been out.
That's very true.
Back.
You are correct.
She's coming back.
Wait. If we're doing that, I'm going to go with the Vegas Aces and the WNBA and or the Seattle Storm.
Okay.
I'll take the New Jersey Generals in the USFL.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Michigan Panthers. Michigan Panthers are going to win it all, Beal, and put your money on it.
Shout out
Paxton
to
Lynch is the quarterback.
Shout out to Shea Patterson for being the #1 draft pick.
There you go.
Yeah.
Paxton Lynch to the Michigan Panthers.
Kyle Loletta.
Kyle Loletta, yep. All right, Sis, you're up. This is going to be a good one. I know this. I've been waiting for this all day.
Well,
and Beelan came on at the right time.
Again, but this is not an attack on Kurt, so keep that in mind. A friend of mine, my friend Whitey, had asked me to pull up some stats and talk a little bit about Rodgers because, and he made a good point. He thinks Rodgers, right out of the gate, is just, jerking the Broncos around, and, he's either going to stay in Green Bay or he's going to retire. Up to this year, we had Brady with 12,720 yards. I put Peyton Manning in there because he had 7,339. Big Ben had 5,922. And Mr. Rodgers had 5,894. Now, Rodgers, to me, deserved the MVP this year. The guy had 4,115 yards and 37 TDs. My problem with this is if he stays in Green Bay, he's probably going to be able to get these numbers somewhere in that neighborhood. Going to the Broncos, he's going to have to face Mahomes, Carr, the kid, Herbert, rather. And,
Twice.
At his age, he is 38 years old. And what has he got left? Tops, 2-3 years to go? Now, the people are saying the Broncos, which I disagree with this one. They only took Hackett to get Rodgers. I really don't think the Broncos did that. I think they took who that organization thought was the best coach. Again, if he stays, who knows? I mean, he's 11-10 in playoffs. He lost 4. He's 11-10 in the playoffs. His career. He lost 4 conference championships. He never advanced beside going 1-4 in any NFL championship game in the last whatever years. So I mean, he for some reason this guy chokes in the big games, man. He can't win the big game. And in my opinion, if he does go to Denver, he's going to give Denver a few more wins, possibly get them into the playoffs. But I don't think he's an answer to end all. And again, this is just my opinion. Now, I watch Get Up every morning because I'm retired, and I watch First Take. And there's a lot of grumbling, and I know Kirk doesn't want to hear this, and I get it. They're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo possibly going to the Broncos.
Let's go.
They're talking about, which I think is crazy, bringing Teddy Bridgewater back. I think that's a major.
Let's go.
I could say that neither one's going to happen.
This is not to come on here and tear Kurt up. We're just talking like mature adults. And everybody is really entitled, to their opinion. Do I think Rodgers is going to go there? I think right now it's a toss-up. I think he either goes to Denver, stays in Green Bay, or retired. I think that's his 3 choices. And if he's to me, he's a head case. And if he's a real man, like I said earlier in this conversation, he shouldn't string Denver along. Well, he should even say, "Yeah, I'm going to come to Denver," and
But sis, here's the thing. Like, I don't think he's stringing Denver. I mean, listen, he has no ties to Denver. He's under contract with Green Bay. He's stringing Green Bay along, right? Yeah. Like what does he have to do with Denver? He has nothing to do with Denver, except But I'm saying. But I'm saying Green Bay cannot run their operation right now because they don't know what this guy's going to do. He's stringing Green Bay along.
He knows, like everybody else does, that Denver wants him to go to Denver. So by him doing, to me, what he's doing to Green Bay, he's also stringing Denver along. That's just right. That's me.
Can I just say one thing, and then I'll let anybody else talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
I disagree with you, Kurt, on one thing, and this is just respectful disagreement. You're saying he's stringing along Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, but he's under contract by Green Bay.
Right, but
he's not under contract by Denver, so I think he's stringing Denver along, and Denver has to hold off their operation.
Well, no. Let me ask you something. Just say tomorrow. Let me say this real quick. Tomorrow, George Payton gets a call. It's from Seattle, and they say, "Hey, 2 number ones for Russell Wilson." You don't think Denver's going to make that move?
Yeah.
So how's he stringing Green Bay along? I mean, how's he stringing Denver? Do you realize while he's doing this, they can't get under the cap? They don't know what to do. They cannot sign Davante Adams until they get the approval that Rodgers is there. Because Davante Adams said flat out, I am not staying in Green Bay if Aaron Rodgers isn't going there. They can't work on their cap because they don't know if Rodgers is there.
When is this coming up? The 22nd?
It's got to be, I want to say, by March 8th. Well, the franchise tag doesn't matter because Green Bay could still tag him. It's just Adam said he's not playing under the franchise tag. He'll refuse to report. He will not play. So Adams is only playing if they give him a long-term deal. But he only wants a long-term deal if Aaron Rodgers is playing there. So
when's the deadline for this? March what?
Well, it starts March 15th. I mean, they have to get under the cap to even talk to Adams. It's he's stringing Green Bay along, is what he's doing.
They don't have to, Kurt. They don't have to be under the cap to talk to him. They can talk in the principle and then figure out what they need to go and do. They do that all the time.
Dave is saying on March 8th, if they don't franchise him, Davante Adams is a free agent.
Yeah, but so you know what they're going to do? They're not going to franchise him. They're going to tender him. Right?
What do you mean? But they're not. It's either they franchise him, sign him to a long deal, he's a free agent.
Yeah, or tender him, and then if they tender him, if he gets signed by somebody else, they're gonna get like a first-round pick from somebody else.
No, he's an unrestricted free. You're gonna get a compensatory pick, but you ain't gonna get a one. He's an unrestricted free agent.
I have 2 thoughts, and then I got to jump off. Have we all been watching the same Jimmy Garoppolo? Does anybody think he can actually go win a game?
No.
Okay, just making sure. On my Aaron Rodgers thought, if Davante Adams
beat Aaron Rodgers,
I like him. I'll take him.
The 49ers beat the Packers, not Jimmy
Garoppolo.
Right.
Anyway, my other thought is, so you're telling me so Denver doesn't want Aaron Rodgers if what Davante Adams said is I'm not playing if he's not my quarterback. So if he comes to Denver, you can get him and Davante Adams, even if you only have. Davante Adams will sign a 4-year deal. Aaron Rodgers will sign a 2-year deal. Is that not what Denver wants?
Oh, for Denver, I'm saying, listen, I'm taking both of them in a heartbeat.
I don't understand. But my one last thought, and then I got to go. If you're so sure on Jordan Love, why does Aaron Rodgers even matter?
Because you're not. Because it's a
first round
bust.
You messed up.
You messed it up.
You effed it up.
Right. You
were trying to give Aaron Rodgers the bird.
Yep.
And it backfired.
Exactly. And now, think about what they did. You had a guy, if you think about this now, sis, Aaron Rodgers was under contract for this year and for next year. He went in there in the summer last year when all reports came out, I want to trade, I don't want to do this. He basically had San Francisco, Green Bay by the you-know-what. He said, one, take off that year. I'm a free agent out of that year. Okay. And next year, if I want out, we're going to talk and I'm going to want out. Think about why should Green Bay say anything? He's under contract. They should just turn around now and say, I don't know what he's talking about. He's reporting on April 1st.
If it's anything like the NBA with what the 76ers dealt with Ben Simmons, you don't have to pay him.
Right. It's not that.
I love you guys. I got to go.
All right, Caleb,
thank you for having me.
Take care,
I'm so glad we were able to hook up again. We will do this again soon.
Definitely.
See you, fellas.
Take care.
Listen, sis, Rodgers is obviously Denver's plan A. But, I mean, hey, if plan A, plan 1 or plan A2, whatever you want, everyone can 1A, 1B. I mean, Russell Wilson comes available. Listen. Who's to say? Seattle could call them tomorrow.
Well, it's either gonna be one of the two. It's gonna be Russell Wilson or Jimmy Garoppolo. That's who it is.
It
Let's,
ain't gonna be Garoppolo.
Let's do this, Kurt. Let's just run the order. Let him ask the questions to us. We got the four of us here.
Okay.
We'll talk about Aaron Rodgers however he wants to do it.
Wait, I just have one question for Kurt.
Sure.
Okay, one quick question to Kurt.
Sure.
Kurt, do you want Aaron Rodgers so Aaron Rodgers and Jenny Hoops can compare 12-day lenses?
I just want an elite quarterback. You know what it is as a Bronco fan? You go and it's like, all right, I have John Elway for whatever, how many years. Now I have Peyton Manning for 4 years. Then you have garbage after garbage after garbage. And you look and you're like, I mean, if there's an elite, listen, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't on the quote unquote trading block, or if Russell Wilson didn't want out, it's a different game. Like, all right, what are we going to do now? But if those two guys are available, and you've had, seriously, last year you had the worst starting quarterback in the NFL in Teddy Bridgewater, the worst. Couldn't throw it past 20 yards, the worst. You go and you say, if I can get Rodgers or Wilson, like, you got to be joking. It's like, that's like a dream. It's like somebody just threw you out, here's $10 million. You do it. And, that's why they got to shoot for it. They got to go all in for Rodgers, all in for Russ, those two guys. If they can't get them, now, listen, George Payton can't go to Green Bay and pull him out of Green Bay. And I was talking about this with Jen. As a diehard Knicks fan in 2010, I hate LeBron James because LeBron James said, no, I'm not going to the Knicks. I'm choosing Miami. I can't be mad if Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. He's a Packer. I can't be mad at the general manager. I'm mad at the general manager if he turns down a deal for Aaron Rodgers. Then I want him out. But if he's a Packer and they don't trade him, what can I do? They didn't trade him. That's not on the GM. It's Aaron Rodgers did not come to Denver. He stayed in Green Bay. If Aaron Rodgers goes to somewhere else, that's a different story. Then that's on the GM.
Sis, let's let you take over the questions, or if you want to make the points.
Again, even though, his last year was a handshake, that's not written in stone.
No.
You know what I mean? So
right, but here's the other thing, though, sis. You got to understand. See, this is where you're right. But also, you're talking about, oh, my God, Denver's going to have to give up 3 number 1 picks and 2 number 2 picks and Jerry Jeudy. Listen, that's a pretty damn good haul. If you play the game with Aaron Rodgers, I'm not trading you this year. He walks next year. You have none of that. And you're stuck with Jordan Love. You have none of that. You're going to do that? Is that the best thing for your franchise? You're the general manager. You got to do what's best for the Packers, not what's best for you.
That's what's leading me into the next one. We're going to go in this order. We're going to go Beelan, Kenny, Paul, and then Kurt.
Beelan got disconnected. He walked into a store and we lost him.
Then we'll go to.
Hope he doesn't rob a store like live on air.
I hope he didn't get into an accident.
He looks like he just rolled out of a bar. Kenny, does Green Bay offer Aaron Rodgers $150 million for 3 years?
Let's say no, sis.
Paul?
No, I don't think they're going to do that.
And Mr. Valenti?
Listen, they have no choice. They have to because
I totally agree.
They're done without him. Seriously, there might be a 5-6 win team without Aaron Rodgers, and
no doubt.
They can't do it.
No doubt.
Debate that real quick. Vikings, the Lions, and Bears. That's my answer. You can compete with those 3 teams with Jordan Love. I'm not saying you can win a division with Jordan Love, but you still can compete in the NFC North against those 3 teams with Jordan Love at quarterback. That's why I don't think they're going to give him 150 for 3.
Yeah, they still have a good all-around team.
Kenny, let me ask you this, Paul. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If they trade Rodgers, right? They trade Rodgers wants out. They trade Rodgers, or Rodgers retires, and right. Green Bay wins 6 or 7 games. Gutekunst, he's gone. He's gone. Like, what is your? That's what you did this 2 years ago. You took this guy to replace Aaron Rodgers, and now here's his time to shine, and you can't win. That's on you. You should have took a receiver to give Aaron Rodgers so you win a damn Super Bowl. But now you took this guy Jordan Love, who's a bust, and if he wins 6 games, the guy on the radio I was listening tonight, and Alfred Williams was saying it. No one's listen. They're going to Green Bay to play with Aaron Rodgers. What free agents are going to Green Bay? Seriously, who's going to go there to play with Jordan Love? They're going to be terrible. Terrible.
Right.
They got to give him the money. This is this guy's career. This guy now painted himself into a corner, and basically Aaron Rodgers is going to decide if this guy probably gets fired as a general manager after this year. That's my thought.
Well, let me turn it around. Does he take the Tom Brady discount to stay there in order to attract players, in order to then go to a Super Bowl?
I don't think Rodgers is that type of player. Brady took the discounts. Rodgers hasn't done it yet. I don't think he can do it.
No, this guy's all about money, man.
Yeah.
All about money.
But you know what, though, sis? Here's the thing. Again, I think if he wants to stay, yeah, he could do it. But if he wants to go out, he painted them in so much of a corner. He basically said to them, next year, if I want out and you don't trade me, they have to pay him $46 million on the cap.
Yeah.
Because they're basically saying you can't do that.
Right.
Now, he's going to take some kind of cut if he stays. I mean, he's still going to be the highest paid football player, the highest paid quarterback, but I don't know.
By the way, guys, we have a celebrity with us. Moses just joined us.
Moses? Wait, should we part the sea?
Paul, what are you standing on top of your apartment building?
Remember, he's hurting. His back's hurting him, sis.
This is my last thing on this tonight. To me, the guy, he's a head case. Me and Kurt had talked about this weeks ago, and Kurt made me laugh. He said, "Get him a psychiatrist."
Yeah.
But the guy has issues, man. He really does. I seen him on TV accept an award. Everybody else was dressed, 2000. He looked like he had potato sacks on.
Sis, my wife said the same thing.
What?
What's that?
That you standing on top of the building?
That he looked like.
Yeah. I thought she agreed with me. You look like you're standing on top of the building. That's it for me tonight, Kenny.
Awesome.
I got one more, Kenny. I got one more that I want to ask all 3 people, because I heard this tonight from Alfred Williams on the radio, and it was an unbelievable question. I'm going to ask you, Kenny, right now. Kenny, for your New York Giants to win another Super Bowl, I'm not talking about players, but right now, would you trade 3 number 1 picks right now for the Giants for you to see another Giants Super Bowl?
Hell yeah.
Paul, would you trade 3 number 1 picks for you to see the New York Giants win?
Absolutely. I didn't even want to let you finish the sentence. Absolutely.
Beelan,
I am not getting any younger.
No. Hold on.
That's my question.
Beelan,
that's what I say.
But Beelan, you have never seen one. Beelan, would you trade 3 number 1 picks?
Kurt, you got to come up with better stuff. That's like the biggest cop-out.
Okay, so hold on. Sis, would you trade 3 number 1 picks for your team to see another Super Bowl?
Nope. You know who I am. I said this before. I wouldn't do that.
So you wouldn't do 3 for a Super Bowl.
I would build like they did back in the day and work. The Giants are not going to sniff the playoffs for at least another 5 years.
Okay,
no, I don't agree.
You wouldn't trade right now if somebody said to you next year the New York Giants will win the Super Bowl, but you have to just get rid of the next 3 first-round picks. You wouldn't do it.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
No.
I think the Giants are in a better position than the Jets.
Paul's on a trip where he thinks the Giants are going to make the playoffs within the next. They're not. They're going to be better.
I don't think they're far away.
I don't think
they're far away. I don't think they're far away.
You guys must all be smoking the same shit then tonight.
I'm not saying next year, but there'll be a bigger.
Kurt, we got about 10 minutes left.
Get rid of Barkley either, Paul. Don't let that shock you.
We got
I
about
know.
10 minutes left. Paul, you got something about football too with the quarterbacks, right? We got about 10 minutes
Yeah.
left. You think we
Yeah.
could do that in about 10 minutes?
Yeah. I'll skip a couple, but anyway. So, in the words of Billy Joel, I'm moving out. I'll name a quarterback. Is he staying or moving out? Let's go Kenny, Kurt, Thielen, Sis. Deshaun Watson, staying or moving out?
I'm moving out.
Kurt,
Moving out.
Thielen,
Are you saying does he want to or is he going to?
Going to.
they're going to get rid of him.
He's staying.
Okay. Sis,
I'm going to say he's staying also.
okay. Carson Wentz, staying or moving out?
Moving out, and I think we should do this. We'll do predictions because that one's going to be a hard one to predict. We'll do a prediction game. That'll be one of my topics next week. But yeah, he's moving out.
Okay. Kurt,
Sad part is he's definitely Colts are moving him out, and the Colts lost their #1 draft pick by moving him out. Bad deal, Colts. Bad deal, Colts.
exactly.
Yep.
Thielen,
He's staying.
Sis.
Oh, he's going.
My next one was Aaron Rodgers. I think we've beaten that one to a dead horse. Same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. For giggles and sticks, Teddy Bridgewater. Kenny?
I ain't going to get Kurt's blood boiling. I'll say moving out.
Kurt?
There's no way he will ever be a Bronco quarterback again. No way.
Thielen?
I mean, I want to get his blood boiling, but I think he's out.
Sis?
No, he's done. He's gonna go to some team and be a backup. He's done in Denver.
Green Bay.
Okay.
Green Bay, right? Kurt?
Green Bay, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
listen, send him to Green Bay. He can wear the cheesehead. Send him over there.
All right. And here's an interesting one. Jalen Hurts. Kenny?
I'm gonna say staying, but it's interesting, like you said, because they may be in the mix for like a Russell Wilson. I'll say staying right now.
Kurt?
I think they want to friggin' get rid of him, but Russell, listen, they probably want. They were saying they'll trade all 3 first-round picks this year for Russell Wilson. I think
He was horrible in that game against the Bucks.
Yeah, I think they're gonna try to get rid of him. I mean, I'm just gonna say he's gonna stay because I don't know what else they could do. I mean, who could they get? But I think they want to move on from him.
Yeah. Feeling?
Listen, he got to the playoffs, man. Come on.
Was it because of him or in spite of him?
It's part. He was part of it. They found a good running scheme. That head coach has found a good scheme that fits Hurts well, where he doesn't have to be flashy and flamboyant. They need a couple more stuff. They have 3 first-round picks. They're gonna be. You're gonna have to watch out for that team soon.
Sis?
They got the 15th, 17th, and 19th pick. Okay. My opinion, they're not moving on from this kid. They're going to stay with him at least another year, and they're going to make good choices with those 3 high draft picks that they got coming in. That's my opinion.
And real quick, Sis, you know what's scary? Mock drafts have Eagles taking your boy Jameson Williams, pairing him up with Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's going to be nightmares if they get both of those kids for 10 years.
Yeah. All right, because I love Kenny, Mitch Trubisky.
Woo!
He's moving out of Buffalo.
Kurt?
Yeah, I think he's moving out too.
Feeling?
I think he's going to stay there because I think his value will be better as a backup than as a starter.
Sis?
Do not come to the Giants. He's moving out. Yeah, he's going.
Okay. Kirk Cousins.
No.
Kenny.
I think the coach is going to – I think he stays. I think he stays because I think they feel they can win that division.
Kurt.
I'll say stay.
They're not if Aaron Rodgers stays.
Our friend Matt Staffiero saying Albright claims, I read this today too, that there's going to be a market for Trubisky and Mariota larger than people think. Cousins, I mean, I think he stays, but I don't think they're going to sign him to an extension. I think they're going to let him go one more year.
They got the offense that can win that division.
What's my thing? The ABS.
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 Yeah. So this could be part of the ABS, but this is probably going to be more facts than it is of ABS. Kirk Cousins will be a top 5 quarterback next year. Okay.
Does that mean winning with playoffs and in a divisional round, or?
Yeah, they're going to NFC Championship next year.
Oh.
Mark that down.
Bold, Beelan. That's
The NFC
Look at
Championship.
Kenny's got that written down.
NFC Championship. Minnesota Vikings.
Sis.
Oh, wait, so his NFC Championship game is Dallas and Minnesota because he's got Dallas going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's locked in already.
There it is. Don't worry, we got a whole March Madness bracket coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Did Matt Staffiero just say Trubisky and Mariota are going to be what?
They're going to be. I think
Market.
there's going to be a market for those two guys.
They must be smoking that synthetic shit up there in Denver.
It's legal. It's legal out there.
Those two guys couldn't be third string quarterbacks, let alone back. They both stink, but that's it.
All right. My last one, Kyler Murray. Kenny.
I'm going to be the bold one on this one. I'm going to say he goes. Don't know where, but he goes.
Okay.
I'll do research on that.
Staying or moving out?
I'm going to say moving out.
Oh, me, Kenny? Me, Paul?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Staffiero. He's saying he's staying put. I think he stays put. I think Kingsbury will get axed after this year, and then they'll be like, all right, that was his guy. Maybe Arizona could start over, but I think he'll stay one more year.
Feeling?
Yeah, he's 1 year rental. That's it.
And Sis.
He stays.
Okay. Wait, one more.
I was going to say, here's my. We'll get into this in future weeks, but you got a quarterback who's unhappy in Arizona, who's a playoff caliber team, right? You got a team out there that's not doing well, that's got a quarterback who's under a lot of scrutiny, and that's Deshaun Watson. Kyler Murray, you want out? You're going to Houston. Bring Deshaun Watson over to Arizona. It's the only way you're going to stop these guys from saying, I'm not happy here, I'm not happy there. Ship him to a garbage team and let him see how he does in Houston. That's what I would do.
For who? Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray to Houston, bring Deshaun Watson.
Right, but here's
to Arizona.
here's the problem. You're talking Kyler Murray, but now when you're talking about Watson, you're talking about Rodgers. I mean, really, Rodgers doesn't.
No, I was just saying Deshaun Watson because Murray wants out of Arizona. I wasn't talking about Aaron Rodgers or anybody like that.
Right, but I'm saying the difference. See, here's the difference. Like Rodgers, again, the quote unquote, he don't have a no trade clause, but he always turns around and says, okay, well then I'm retiring. So he really does have a no trade clause, right? Russell Wilson, no trade clause. The other guy is Deshaun Watson, no trade clause. So those franchises that gave them the power, they deserve to you're not shipping Deshaun Watson.
If Deshaun Watson waives his no trade clause, Kyler Murray, you're going to Houston. That's what Kyler Murray doesn't have a no trade clause. You ship him to Carolina.
Well, they're gonna take him. They're gonna get the best offer for Kyler Murray that they're gonna get. I mean, be realistic.
No, I'm saying, but I'm
you know where next spot Kyler Murray could fit in really well? Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, almost a lot of quarterbacks could fit in well there.
Jimmy G should go to Pittsburgh, seriously, because they said they're just going to run the ball 40 times.
Carson Wentz, anybody can fit in that Pittsburgh.
That's why you put Kyler Murray there, because he can't throw a completion.
But can you guys imagine this? The Indianapolis Colts traded for Carson Wentz. He bombed again, and now they have to give up a number 1 draft pick for him. Can you imagine how bad that is? And he's gone. How do you not keep him?
But Kurt, this is the thing. So they traded a number 1 draft pick, right? You got to pay attention the next couple of years on who they pick with that draft pick and see what they do. Because if that draft pick becomes a bust, you can't say anything about Carson Wentz.
But I'm saying it's so bad. It's like they rented him for a year and they lost the draft pick. Like it should have been like rent them for a year, but now they're double screwed.
And Kurt, and they lost the last game of the year.
Right.
So they didn't even make the playoffs.
Right. They didn't even make the playoffs. That GM.
You got to look at what the Colts need most and who would they have taken at that pick too. So you got to see not necessarily who the Eagles take, but what the Colts would have needed and who would have you taken.
Yeah, but Kenny, that screws you with draft picks too. Like, okay, Kyler Murray's traded. Now you don't have a number one to trade for him.
The Colts GM should be buy for a number one pick for Carson Wentz.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you had one more quarterback, Paul?
I'll Kurt, sorry to do this. Drew Lock, staying or moving out?
Starting with me?
Yeah, let's start with Kurt.
I think if Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson goes there, he will be out. Otherwise, I think he stays.
Any?
I'm going to say he stays, and I'm going to say he gets a fair shot at starting quarterback this year if there's no Aaron Rodgers there.
Right. Feeling?
Say he's going to stay because his contract is super team friendly.
Yep.
So it doesn't make any sense why to get rid of him. But
right, what are you going to get for him, Beelan? Seriously, a 4th round pick?
Maybe.
Seriously, like you're not going to get anything. You might as well just keep him for the money.
Yeah.
Sis?
You got to stay right there for the money.
Yeah.
And by the way, Beelan, I'm collecting a fund for Kurt. We're going to all chip in and buy him a Michigan Panthers Paxton Lynch jersey for the USFL.
I
was going to say Paxton Lynch was
MVP.
No, I really hope that like a Garoppolo or a Trubisky goes to the Broncos because I want him to see him buy that jersey.
Who?
You.
Who?
Trubisky or Garoppolo or somebody like that.
Teddy Bridgewater back.
Teddy Bridgewater back.
Case Keenum.
I will say this. You guys want to laugh at me? Case Keenum was better than Teddy Bridgewater seriously couldn't throw the ball down. Like, it's just insane. Like, and he wouldn't. 3rd and 9. Throw it 6 yards. Throw it 7. He was so bad. So bad.
Except the opening game of the season.
Except the Giant, yeah.
Right.
Bad news bears.
Real quick, I want to answer this question. I want Sis to answer this question. This is from Mary. And she said, we don't have to answer, but I do want to answer. We just had a lot of comments coming in. I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
Thank you, everybody, for the comments tonight. Yeah. Sorry if we didn't get to them all.
Matt's saying Locke's market is larger than Love's. My bad. Dave's saying, I'm sorry, Keith's saying, Drew Lock to Kenny, the perfect. You talking to me. Staffiero saying, I'm not counting Jimmy G as a big name. He's a tier 2. He's also saying the only big name quarterback to be moved would be Deshaun Watson. Kyler staying put. Matt's also saying they're high on Kellen Mond as developmental guy in Minnesota, but that's a long shot. But I want to get to this one more comment. And again, she said you don't have to answer it, but I want to answer it.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I gotta find it now.
I got a question for Kurt.
All right, hold on, Beelan, 1 second. She asked, Sis, you can answer it. She asked, like, how do you guys all know each other? So, Sis, break it down for Mary.
I don't know any of these people. They're all in all honesty, I know Paul from the show. Since we've been doing the show. Kurt and me coached together for 4 years on a high school level. I know Kurt 20-something years, 24 years. I was in his wedding. Kenny is friendly with Kurt. Kurt introduced me to Kenny. I know Kenny 24 years. Beelan, I met through Kurt, great guy. And the thing about all these guys, they're knowledgeable. And, we don't try to we mess around a lot and everything, but we don't try to outdo each other. That's really not what this is all about. We just all give our input, share ideas, and we get along pretty well. We do a lot of rib busting and stuff, but I think that's what makes the show exciting. Yep, that's how I know these guys.
And just to add, Kurt and I have known each other we've known each other since kindergarten. We're 46 years old now, 47 and 46. And we grew up.
Kenny, you never give your age over the radio, Kenny. We're
not women. We're not women. We can give our.
That's
you guys are babies.
What our age is.
You guys are babies.
I'm joking.
I'm
glad I'm part of this group because I keep the average age down.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
Beelan's the baby of the group.
Yeah, he's the baby of the group.
We knew Beelan from Garfield Little League throughout.
But he has the most gray hair.
Yep, Moses. Got to get the fake stones. And then Paul, we met through a Giants group page, and he's been part of our show. Like Sis said, we all knew each other from. The three of us knew each other from Ramapo High School, and good friend of ours who coached over there, who passed away recently, brought us all together.
It's funny too because Kurt coached my cousin Richie from Ramapo, so it's like everybody kind of like there's like always
circle.
like a weird little circle around someone.
Mary's fiance played right next to me at Seton Hall for 3 years. He had passed away over 2 months ago. Big Rich Murphy, great person, very smart kid, and unfortunately he left us at a way too early age. So that's how I got friendly with Mary, through my friend Tippy and Tony Sanchez and some other Seton Hall people. So we keep her in the loop. She's a good person.
Yep. She said, thanks for answering. You guys are all knowledgeable, but a fun group and young.
Sis, hey, Sis, was Tippy your running partner in your disco days? Is that
Tippy was co-captain with me. He's a Madison boy, which means in New Jersey, that's like he's a country kid. Like he lives up in New Hampshire. He still he's got a chicken farm, and yeah, he's a good old country boy. He was one hell of a player too.
Sis, what was that? The 66, 67 pickleball team at Seton Hall?
No, that was the 1974 guy's ass. You couldn't even have been a water boy on it.
Another comment from Keith. K&K is the best bunch of guys. How can you not enjoy the show? Thank you, Keith.
Same to you, Keith, and you guys over at Mountain Sports.
Oh, we're doing this next week. Keith is saying we need to see some throwback pictures of the boys. We're gonna do it every night.
I got
this
a couple.
Week.
Yeah,
we're gonna do it every night.
We got our basketball one, Kurt. I got that on the computer.
All right, let's do final thoughts, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Sure, you take the order, Kurt.
I'll go first. Again, guys, great show tonight. Again, as always, it's a big. Listen, it's an exciting time. I know football stopped. Like football's over. Like watching it, but the maybe even the more exciting part comes now with the free agency, the trades, the combine, the draft, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm super pumped up. March Madness, NBA. Our Knicks aren't good, but March Madness, anything can happen. We're pumped up. We'll be doing brackets, and I'm excited for that. Mary's also saying I'm going to tell all my friends to join in every week. Love you guys, especially Sis.
Thank you, Mary, very much.
And Keith is saying, great show. Bring it home, boys. You know what? I'll go to Beelan next. Your final thoughts.
Listen, I'm going to piggyback off of you. I really didn't have any crazy thoughts, but one of the most exciting news that I heard this week, and I think it was this weekend or this week, but the XFL combining with the NFL pretty much in the future sounds like it wants to be a minor league team kind of. From what I was reading is that they want to every team that in the NFL to basically purchase a team in the XFL and kind of be like a minor league
farm club for like a farm club, right? Yeah. Almost.
Yep. So that's
instead of practice squad, you got your team that you.
That's exciting news, and then March Madness. I mean, come on, man, March Madness is the most exciting time of the year, honestly, in my opinion. But
We'll see.
Mr. Sis, final thoughts.
Yeah, you guys on this panel are great people. It's unfortunate that me and Kurt know more than all you do put together. You know, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I can't even
You
say
can't keep a straight face.
But in all honesty, it's a good show tonight, and I'm getting ready to go watch Little Hoops.
St. John's lost a heartbreaker, Sis. Your Hall's playing right now. Mr. Rosen.
It's great show, fun show tonight. You know, I'm sure I'm sort of the outsider with the rest of you guys.
No way. You fit right in, Paul. You're one of us now. You're one of us.
Thank you, and I appreciate
Climb
that.
down excuse me, did you climb down the ladder on top of the
roof? I did. My leg and back started feeling better. But
boy.
As I was about to say, thank you, Kurt. You know, you guys have made me feel like a part of the brotherhood, and right from day one, and it really, really means a lot to me. It always reminds me of the way I grew up, talking and BSing about sports with your best friends and stuff. So
Awesome.
Every week I look forward to it, and it's just a great experience, and I just love it, and I love you guys.
Likewise. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, finish it up.
Cool. Well, I heard Beelan, did you tell your driver 14th and 7th?
Hey, listen, one last thing I just want to add before Kenny goes. I hope this show goes on for another 20 years at your retirement place, so I can sit down with all you guys and watch you guys, okay?
Who's going to be in the cane? Who's going to be in the wheelchair? And who's going to be in the walker?
God.
Dementia.
The way I'm feeling right now, probably me.
Yeah, I'm gonna make mine just about everybody, that are, for you. Caleb, thank you for joining tonight. He had to leave early, but always a pleasure having Caleb on. All the guys at Rocky Mountain, Keith, Dave, Matt, thanks for joining.
Yep.
Mary, everybody else out there who's commented throughout the night. It's what makes our show, is hearing from you guys and ladies, interacting with us is what makes us go. And that's what we enjoy doing. And, we enjoy doing it for you. And we hope you keep enjoying listening to us. And if you have any, ideas, we're always open for new ideas. We tried something new tonight I think it went pretty well. We just did an open agenda type of show. Mm-hmm. We didn't really know what the other people were going to bring up as their topics. And it went well. We went right off the top of our head, and shows how knowledgeable we are as human, we're all very knowledgeable people, and it showed.
Sounds good.
Thank you to 4 of you. Good show tonight.
All right, boys. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow and next week.